music. Pop up
Both my own music for my own sanity too.
I will exist in the void.
I can share my screen if you want.
I have Twitch open.
What
images is empty? I leave it. I'll relegate it to the Scarecrow workspace.
The Scarecrow fail. I was playing recently. I was actually doing
no.
so.
I
did one.
In a while.
It's been a hot minute. Honestly, there's some puzzles in the one we're on that just very. It's mainly just the one fucking crossword one. Like I just don't want to ever get to that. I might kill myself.
Yes, this is what you think. Yes, this is what you think. Let's see. I should think about pulling all of my D&D shit into one of these.
Yeah, it's handy and it's free too, so it's nice.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start us off.
Okay. The word we have generated is fall. Immediately,
Okay.
something comes to. Have you guys seen the Platform on Netflix?
I've seen a synopsis of it.
Yeah, that's what immediately comes for the how it works. Vocab is the Platform is essentially like this prison, and there are a bunch of floors. I forget how many, but like we'll say it goes to 100 for simplicity. It's all in one vertical line. Starting on the first floor all the way down to the 100th floor. Every day, a platform is lowered in the middle of it, just filled with food, like shit ton of food.
Oh, I have heard a synopsis of this. Okay.
Yeah, and it will just eventually reach them all. And like how the movie shows, like by the time it gets to the bottom, it's just like fucked, like completely fucked. And every 2 months, they get put on a different floor. So people who get put on higher floors might be more selfish just because they were just like at the bottom and they were like starving.
Yeah.
But like realistically, if everyone just sort of took only what they needed, then everyone would be fine. Everyone would be fed. But people just might not know where they're getting their next meal, so they just decide to just fuck them. So something that comes to mind, like I'm imagining a world that is built vertically. It could just be a big pit, and like cities and civilizations are built on like little jutting, like people like building onto the sides of them, almost like shantytown styled. That's just like just there's a whole world everyone just has to deal with this potential to fall.
You're going in the hole.
Yeah. Though that might probably work better for more of a like one civilization, and that's just sort of like a class system. Like whoever's near the like higher up is just better. That seems a little bit boring. So you guys have any other ideas what fall could be? Yeah, like would it be a threat? Is fall like maybe falling is seen as a good thing for some reason? Like something like that. Oh, is JT muted?
Yes.
Why is he muted? Where'd he go? It was right there.
He's not allowed here.
Fall in my balls. Thank you, Cece. I will be refraining from falling in your balls. But what do you think? What do you think, vocab? What do you got? Just say random shit.
I don't have much. I mean, yeah, falling is always generally seen as being a bad thing. Well, not always seen as a bad thing. I mean, you have times like falling in love. That is seen as being a good thing. It's not like falling is always a bad thing.
Okay, I'm back.
So what can we do with that?
I don't know.
So when fall to me immediately brings to mind, especially if we're looking at fall in like a good context instead of a bad context, to me that reads Miles Morales taking the leap of faith, where it becomes inverted to make it look like he's rising as opposed to literally falling.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something along those lines, where a fall maybe indicates like a leap of faith as opposed to like a fall from grace. It's like you take a leap of faith, and then if you succeed you get some sort of reward.
Well, you have to fall before
it could be could be a means of transportation almost, because there's always those video game platformers with those levels where you like fall down and you get like slipped on the like reversed on the other side, you know what I mean?
This world is built on a massive Kaplunk machine.
Yeah, it's what, like, I'm thinking like you jump down the hole, you end up in like another country. Like it's almost like people are going through the earth to get to places.
Oh, like digging a tunnel to China type thing?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that thing. I'm thinking like more like Mario platformer rules, kind of. Like you get like you jump down, like gravity just gets reversed by the time you get to the bottom, and you're just safe to move. There's like a cutoff point.
It could be interesting. Oh, you know what? What about a dual world where one world is on top, the other world's on the bottom, but they each see each other as right side up, and then you have to fall to get to the other portion, and as you do, you like eventually like flip yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, generally.
Yeah. I like that.
It's neat.
Okay, here, I'll write that down because I like that idea. How would I put this?
Yeah. So would we want fall to be a small part of the world, or the concept of falling to be a bigger part of the world?
If we've generated this word as like this is the linchpin of the world, I think it should be pretty central. I think it should be a central meaning.
So maybe like I guess like obviously the ability to transport instantly is would be significant to the world. Like that alone, that just sort of goes without saying. But like, how would people view it? I guess because what would you view it more?
Well, there would assumedly there would have to have been a person, somebody who fell and was like, "Oh fuck, well this is the end," and then it wasn't.
Yeah, might be something. If we want to make a big deal about falling, gravity could be stronger in this world, like to the point where like jumping is not possible. So like technology has been built around trying to combat this like gravity. Everyone's sort of like got dense bones.
The strongest race.
Yeah, like to even like get up, like get around, like you need to have like contraptions. Could be a play on that. Or, like it could be the inverse for the like when people like it's like low gravity and high gravity on different sides, and that affects
like
things.
That. I like the idea of playing with that, because it reminds me of Zero Escape in the beginning, where Fi just like does the super jump.
Yeah. That probably would fuck up, like, if they ever try. That would explain why there's general peace with it, because like a fucking someone who's in high gravity going, someone in high gravity going to low gravity would just like fucking Like they would both just die. Like their bones would not be able to fucking like their bodies would just not be built for that environment.
Yeah. Well, here's an idea. If we go on the idea of a super strong gravity, it could be that people from other civilizations that move through require some sort of like leg contraption to keep themselves like sturdy in some way.
Yeah.
Although,
Or maybe
generally their bodies wouldn't be adapted to it, so all their organs would kind of like just mush up against each other. So maybe it doesn't work anyway.
it might be something like a personalized gravity that someone can have. Like something they put on their body that sort of just imposes that gravity on them.
Sort of like how Iron Man has the thing in his heart, like something like that, where they can place it on their chest and then it stabilizes themselves.
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or like a weird, fucked up version of like water breathing.
Yeah, kind of.
Hi, Rosalina Delaney. I appreciate the raid. Hello.
Hello.
This isn't our usual scene, but we're creating a world. We're world building here today.
Yeah, we're just throwing ideas out about different world ideas. Yeah. It's neat. Let's see what. So what sort of deities do you think would come out of, or like I guess ideologies would come out of this world? Because gravity and I guess movement would be seen as the like holy shit, you know? I feel like people who have exceptional control of their movement would be seen as greater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Attaching a personalized field to them, to their chest, writes themselves in the different gravity. High gravity versus low gravity.
Like gravity is the great evil. This is the curse imposed on this civilization.
Oh, they view gravity as like some malevolent
Oh no,
force.
someone said something as like one being like one side of it being high gravity, one side being low gravity, right? Somebody said that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That feels like we're building just like an inherent like two sides of a coin kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like interpreting just a fact of gravity in different ways.
So you think maybe the low grav people think gravity is like evil, that it's like that whoever can like be the first one to defy gravity entirely would be, I mean, the fly spell exists, but it's temporary, you know? So somebody who could defy gravity forever would then be like a higher state of being. And then on the other side, they think that gravity is like the way of life, that without it, they would float off into space, you know? That it's a blessing. And then
because they'll be sturdier and stronger.
Yeah, like they're much more hardy people. So
they probably view it as a challenge, like a divine challenge to. They may still want to overcome it, but I think
in the super high gravity place, then that would make graviturgy wizards seen as like super cool, you know, like they're versus in the low gravity place, a graviturgy wizard might be like hunted, you know, like it's an illegal form of magic.
Yeah, I guess that we also need to come into mind, like, where does magic come from in this world, considering it's not connected to the weave or it's like Faerun or anything, obviously.
That's true. Yeah.
Like what would be the source of people's magic in this world? What is being manipulated in the world naturally? Because again, we could just say it's magic, but I'm just throwing it if we have any fun ideas for our interpretation of it.
I mean, you could still like link it to gravity somehow.
Yeah.
And have them do the two sides, whereas like one side it sees like gravity is a gift and we pull from that and we channel that, while the other side is we
manipulate
take
it for our
gravity. We take gravity and we shred it down for our own means.
That's why I think there should be probably in this world, because gravity is included and stuff. Obviously space imagery comes to mind. I feel like there should be alien activity at the very, like, foreign powers in this world that, like, the low gravity people are seeking out to like help them, to like strengthen them, because gravity is seemingly like forsaken them in this way. What those said alien or foreign powers would want with this world, that is unknown to me. I mean, that's all depends on our interpretation of why the world acts this way. What exactly is this world? Is it actually even connected, or are they two separate worlds that are connected through some unseen portal that's just like these holes in the planets?
I like the idea of it literally being... Oh, a black hole would be pretty cool. That they're two sides of a black hole.
Yeah, like they... Maybe at one point they were connected. Like they were one world, but they've just been split off and they're in different entire...
Oh, and the reason one has such an incredibly high gravity is because they literally live on the event horizon.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick. That's really cool. Hold on. Yeah. World split by a black...
We could say this black hole is a source of magic. Like it is some sort of like that.
They're just like taking energy.
Yeah. So instead of it like drawing from the gravity, it is this black hole that connects this split world that that both are utilizing for different means.
And then low grav maybe would live in the center. Like high gravity lives on the event horizon, right? Like they literally live where nothing can come back from. But what about the low gravity? Do you think they would live on the outside? Because they have to be able to transfer between the two.
I mean, it could be two sides where it's just like one side, if like there is still this connecting pathway between them. One side is just at the edge, and the other is at a distance, like more of a distance from it.
Yeah, like the fact this world being split into, there might be like a wormhole connecting the two. Like the low gravity could actually be like way further. Like that part got taken by the black hole and spit out somewhere else that has low gravity.
Okay.
And they're only connected by this worm. Like maybe the world's like trying to fix itself. There is like a conflict of that. Maybe like the both halves are consistently trying to rejoin. And then you have the people who are all just fighting against each other, so there's like that sort of like they're just fucking themselves up at that point. Because I do like the idea of this planet just wanting to be whole again, but like the inhabitants on it wanting to stay as like separate entities and bodies.
Well, then the question is, how did the black hole form?
That is true.
Maybe this planet has a will of its own.
Yeah, that's because we need to talk, because like once this happens, I feel like most people on the planet are just dead, like from the initial instance. So we need to decide whether there are survivors or whether people were placed on here.
I think the idea of survivorship makes the most sense, because then they like they see themselves as superior because they survived, or maybe they think or they had some sort of like issue in the past, and then this big calamity happened where their planet got split in two, and now there's the one side and the other side, that the survivors were maybe chosen to rebuild or something.
What about like whatever caused the black hole, there was an expected problem and there were fail-safes in place. Like
you think the black hole was the failsafe?
No, that like whatever person was doing with black hole, like why that happened, they expected there's a chance shit might get fucked up. Let me have a failsafe ready in case. And those are like artificial humans or artificial humanoids.
Yeah, bring in the rock humans.
In a sense. Yeah, essentially.
I like
at least a version of them that could adapt, because it's straight up like human, or like straight up any humanoid creature that would exist when the gravity gets fucking like doubled would just fucking accordioned.
Yeah.
Like
Their organs
would
just fucking like crush up into themselves. Well, hold on, but then maybe the low gravity people are still regular humans, but they just sort of over time adapt to their surroundings. Then, so the high gravity people, they're the failsafe, but the low grav are like actual like survivors, and there's conflict because of that as well. Also, hi, ow.
Hey, ow. Yeah, like them arguing, like we're actual inheritors of this.
Okay,
like
I like that.
We like that is our planet. You're not real people. I know what you are.
The black hole won't open for your kind.
Hop in is in like being in chat. Like chat can throw out ideas.
Yeah. What the fuck, Matt? Sorry, I loaded up YouTube for a second and his thumbnail.
Oh no.
I'm in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, I misread what it said. I thought it said I'm the FNAF movie. Yeah, you know what? I didn't know what that meant for a second. I was like, what the fuck?
I know everything.
I am Willie.
So many hungry middle-aged women.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. What was he planning?
We may never know.
What does he know? Yeah. So yeah, I like that a lot of the idea of just, of them like, because you can kind of see the point of just like that's just our planet. You guys were like you're like artificial. Well, you know, obviously the best is just to work together, but like you can understand why people would be upset about the artificial race fighting back against the people whose planet that actually belongs to. I can understand why they might be a bit peeved about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it kind of explains like the ultimate pursuit of this low gravity like civilization of conquering gravity is like we have to find a way to contain this disaster.
So it could be low gravity people have a normal pantheon of gods that are carried over from their, like the artificial
the
one.
Great Devourer.
Yeah, the artificial ones might be more.
No.
What would happen?
Why is this a? I hate this fucking website. I hate this website. I clicked another tab, and it's not like, hey, you might want to save your thing. It just deletes everything. It just fucking deletes everything.
Here, I'll click on your Twitch, see if I can recover any of it.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll just retype that all.
But I was saying, like, it might be like cool if it's the artificial side is more like more conceptual when it comes to what they believe in God. It is more, I guess, self-fulfilling, while the low gravity is more like actual God, like they have a pantheon that has been carried over, because you know they care about their history. They're very focused on their history and trying to maintain that so they can bring it back when they have the world back together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think this like should about cover the whole thing. Clipboard. Trespassing. Yeah, I think that about covers it.
Civilization. You have to fall. Gravity field by that
Could you imagine living on this Event Horizon world?
Yeah.
Just like there is nothing but the void.
Man,
you have no stars. You have no. The only contact you have is this fucking war.
That's a good point. What is like light in this world? What is the concept? Because like anything would be like, you know, like it's
yeah, because the lights can't go through the Event Horizon.
And with them, their proximity to it too, it might just, or at least for
they developed their own light, like not as in like technology, but like biologically.
They're just they just start fucking glowing,
like a bioluminescence kind of thing.
That would imply like a lot of time. A lot of time has passed since then.
Unless this is a race that was
so.
built for this purpose.
That's true. We could like have it be a already like.
Like we mentioned, like it being a failsafe. Like if they were made for this.
That is true.
Like the misinterpretation of like you are pretenders to this world, but it's like we were put here to save this world because everybody thought you'd be fucking dead.
Yeah, it could be something along the lines of these artificial humanoids were built with high adaptability in mind, because I think that could be a fun thing to explore in a campaign of your character from the artificial side of this world, and maybe like
changing and growing.
Actually, that's what I was talking about before, where I was like, I'd love to implement more things where like things you do in the campaign gets you feats instead of just like that as a high adaptability race would probably get more of those like roleplay feats, you know, like the actor or the so saying that just to all of them had the same exact struggle of needing to, you know, see that bioluminescence could have been developed quite quickly. The big thing, how Warforged do we want the artificial race to be here? Do they need to eat and sleep still? Do they need what do they? I just imagine they need less of everything than they normally would.
Yeah.
Then on the other side, what would we give? No, because I feel like you need to give normal humans some stuff to make them not just inferior.
I mean, there is just like the automatic of like the low-grav race are just the mage autocracy kind of thing. Like, just they are the magic people.
Very good with magic. Like inspired by deep sea creatures. That might be a good way to look at it.
Oh yeah, actually.
That might be a good way to see it. They almost sort of like take on a
it's like a Hadal Zone kind of thing.
Yeah, like a fucking Innsmouth like appearance.
The deep ones.
Yeah.
They came from the black hole.
When will the deep ones be on the hot ones? What if like one fucking Halloween the guy's like, hey guys, I have welcome to the hot ones. We have Cthulhu, the Great Dreamer. It just cuts there. What the fuck you put in there? Jesus.
By live from R'lyeh.
The hot ones challenge with Cthulhu. And the camera cuts to him and it just goes to static and your mind fucking explodes. Deep the horror. Yeah, that is a good point. I feel like because they like I could understand a high gravity person surviving somewhat in low gravity, but the low gravity person going to high gravity would just kill them. They would just die.
Yeah, so like the low gravity race would need to be significantly more advanced.
Yeah. If anything, they'd probably be more robotic. They'd be more robotic
Yeah.
than them, than the artificials. They'd probably be less natural.
If they could figure out like propulsion, then that's an easy step to trying to conquer gravity.
Yeah, because do you think like they would resort to maybe like because here's what I'm thinking. Because they suddenly went to a location where gravity no longer affects them as much, and they're all the survivors or descendants of the survivors that were that survived the original Cataclysm, right? Do you think that they would augment themselves, like to be part robot or part machine or part?
I think they'd have
part
to
something.
Yeah, if they want to try and like actually solve the crisis and reclaim their home, they won't have a choice.
Okay. So
They
while
would
they
need to-
themselves,
you go to the high gravity go, you get fucking gooped instantly.
so they don't start synthetic, but as they grow up, they start like becoming more cyberpunk.
Yeah, probably the
Yeah.
more military and like I feel like definitely the more like military side of it would be at the very least. I don't know how widespread the cyberpunk would be. Everyone might have like general things that they can get.
It
Maybe.
depends how much it might seed itself into their theocracy and
Yeah.
their ideology.
They're
They're like,
the-
this is
the
the
Messiah.
way.
Yeah. I forget about that little in Star Fox. They have metal legs for the G-force.
Replacing my blood with Puff Torrent.
Yeah, ibuprofen. Yeah, I guess what sort of society would be? It would be a very traditionalist and I feel more like religious society.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Religion, like
I
I
think
guess,
it may be pretty militaristic as well, because think about it, like they come back from the brink of near destruction, like
Yeah.
that's gonna lead themselves to be like led by a totalitarian regime.
yeah, like
almost.
someone needs to just get in there and lead.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
they might do that through like military power, and because of that, they are more militaristic than.
Yeah.
the
I feel
other
like they'd
side.
be very focused on correct culture. They have like they definitely feel like have their beliefs set about how things should be. Like these are the gods you can follow. These are like the ways you should act. Like a very traditional society, I imagine.
It's kind of an interesting thing. It's like usually with stories like this, you get it where like whatever lives below is trying to get out and up. But like I don't imagine the high gravity people particularly care that much about leaving.
No, they'd be more just about survival.
Yeah.
It's an interesting inverse of like it's the
Yeah.
topsiders who are attempting to
Do you
go
think that,
down.
okay, hold on. Instead of the world trying to fix itself, do you think maybe then the low gravity people are trying to bring the high gravity high gravity part of their planet over to the low gravity part?
Oh, it's a tug of war essentially.
Yeah.
of-
So
maybe.
they're trying to stay, right? The high gravity
Yeah.
people are like, no, we don't want to go over there.
Oh,
No, this is
yeah.
this is our place. You guys
Yep.
destroyed your planet. This is ours now. You know?
because I could see low gravity people being the type of society like it is like any character live there feels just completely there's no individuality is because they have put so much focus on things will go back the way it used to be that like trying to make your own self is seen as like what the fuck are you doing?
That's interesting.
Then the question is, what the fuck did they do to like the rest of whatever is in their little pocket of the universe? Like we talked about aliens a little while back. Like
Yeah.
if they ever achieved like space technology, like the ability to go to other planets wherever they ended up, like what the fuck did they do to whatever else was living in this solar system?
That might be something they have over high gravity. They are just so much more. Well, I guess they need. I think. Okay, I guess we should discuss that. By the time we allow them, does low gravity know how to get to high gravity, other than the wormhole that connects them?
I think that's got to be the only way that they can travel. I don't think that if we
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think of this as a D&D setting, right? Not as like a
Mhm.
writing setting. Like cuz I'm not going to write a book or anything using this. I mean, I think this is like we should allow this to be like free use, like whoever wants to do
Oh
it
yeah,
can do
obviously,
it.
yeah. You can
But,
do that on Campaign Planet. You can put up worlds,
Oh, sick. Okay.
like post them.
Yeah, I think just kind of letting the let me think about this. Let me think about how I want to word this. I think if we do this D&D style, right, that then becomes a what is it, Spelljammer campaign, and Spelljammer in 5e is not very good, and I don't want to like force people into Spelljammer, so I think that can be an option, but I think having the wormhole travel makes the most sense for like what we're trying to do here. But it kind of is like either or to a degree.
You're running crystal spheres to this world, and you're gonna fucking like it.
Oh god. So yeah, I guess it just kind of comes down to, do we want it to be Spelljammer or do we want it to be D&D?
I don't want it to be full Spelljammer. But something we do need to consider, if this one big wormhole is like the big set, like that's just war constantly by that, like on both sides, right? Like that's just gotta be warfare going on there. Like assuming because when you're playing like a D&D world, obviously you want to have characters from both sides meeting up. So how would someone from one side get to the other without getting turned into fucking mush?
I actually wrote that up here. High gravity, each person can use a personal gravity field by attaching something to their chest to like adapt themselves to whatever.
No, I meant warfare wise, like not getting stopped by someone, like as you're. If there's like one big entranceway into the world, like by this time both sides have to have like fully covered that entrance, right? And have like people, like how would someone from one world get to the other? Is what I say. Like how viable is that to do? You know?
I think maybe there could be like one primary entrance and then other smaller ones that'll just like pop up and like spit somebody out every so often, or like something out. And if they're not adapted to it, or they're not one of the like high gravity people who can like very quickly adapt to their situation, then they just kind of get mushed. But you know, something like that, where it's like little pockets will sometimes open and swallow something. Because we did say maybe the world is trying to like reconnect itself. So the black hole just randomly will start opening like little pockets that'll just pop open for a second and then suck in whatever's close and then drop it off on the other side.
Like that could be the aforementioned like tug of war moments where just like one side gets just pulled to the other, and then maybe like something that was once high gravity territory just gets made low gravity territory.
Yeah, and then that would disrupt a lot of the like buildings around that. So maybe that's like a no man's land almost on each side, because it's unpredictable on which side gets pulled more in or pulled more out. Because maybe they started doing that in the beginning, and they had like big swaths of military on each side to just like start casting spells or whatever when somebody comes in to invade, but then the world like literally tugs the part of the low gravity over to the high gravity, and all of those people are just like immediately sucked in, and all of that like defensive positions and everything gets sucked in, and they just get destroyed like immediately.
I do think I like that, if mainly for the fact that like no matter the like religious interpretations that either of these cultures have, it presents the black hole as more of just a outright force of nature. It's not necessarily a conscience. It's not a will. It's not necessarily trying to do something. It's fucking up everything.
So what we've just, because I can understand why someone in low gravity might want to go to high gravity to like leave, but so let's talk about high gravity culture and what that entails. Because like with low gravity place, I could see generally their climate being a lot more better for making farms and stuff, or like there's like, depending on where we put them, there's an argument there. I feel like high gravity are gonna be in fucking trouble. Like animals are probably fucking beefy if alive. So I think we would have to definitely discuss how survival is when you're right next to a fucking black hole at all times.
We're talking about high grav here.
Yeah, high grav. I wanted to establish their culture.
I think high gravity people should be like dwarves almost,
Yeah.
Stout, big, beefy. They got the massive fucking skeletal structures. But they probably would have like a dwarven culture as well. Like, you know, hunting is a way of life. Survival above all else. The collecting one, or like raising oneself to be better than something else is almost seen as like a divine pursuit.
They'd probably like along the line of the dwarf, they would very definitely like worship not just Black Hole, but like the ground upon which they walk because of how valuable every part of it is.
But because even taking a step in this culture must be fucking excruciatingly like difficult. Like, you know, like I feel like stairs. You gotta do something with that.
I don't think you can have 2-story buildings.
If you just too high up, you're getting fucking pulled into the black hole.
They have to be digging down, right?
Yeah, which is why dwarves, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it works with that. Like that's a fun parallel with it. So I guess there's a little side tangent, but when it comes to the races of this fantasy world, would lower gravity be the ones with more people, with like more diverse? While everyone on high gravity are more similar looking. Like they're a race of people exclusively built to survive in this scenario.
I think so. I think
probably.
High gravity is probably pretty homogenous, whereas low gravity is just sort of like literally the remnants of the survivors. So whatever races survived. If there were even like, if we want to include aliens, we could have like elves are aliens, you know, mind flayers are aliens, fucking
boy, we got fucking moon elves. Let's go.
Like, you know, things like that, where it's like, okay, maybe it was just all humans originally, and then the dwarves are the synthetic race, or, you know, if we use dwarves as like as the model there, they're the synthetic race versus the humans on the low gravity side. Maybe they evolved to become elves over time. That their limited exposure to
like completely throw out our preconceptions of race with D&D and just make like a new origin for different races.
Exactly. Yeah. And then maybe
like
there are humans out there in the world that eventually come over to the low grav side, but I don't think anything can travel to the high grav side. I think because it lives literally on an event horizon, nobody's able to travel in or out other than through the wormhole. So they're entirely one type of civilization, and then maybe like the remnants of whatever animals survived, whatever.
Well, there is something we haven't considered.
What's that?
And that's the time dilation effect of a black hole.
That's true. Oh, wait, maybe humans get turned into elves because of time dilation.
Because, like, time... I'm just thinking, like, the closer you get to a black hole, the longer time stretch. So it's been, like, a significantly longer amount of time for the high grav people than it has been for the low grav people.
So, like, let's imagine a hypothetical, like, with their mindset of, like, with that mindset of how time works, like, someone attacks them in the afternoon, and then like it's low grav afternoon, and then they try to attack. Like, what would be the time frame between those attacks? You know,
I don't know. It's just like before the low grav people, they like conduct an attack, but they are going there with the understanding that like there is a chance that when they come back, everything's different.
That is true. Yeah, I guess. High grav has time advantage, while low grav has technology. Like they're surviving by their technology, while high grav has fucking.
Hold on a second. I've seen this in Invincible.
It's Invincible. I was just gonna say.
Is it?
Yeah, Invincible has a planet where they kind of like live and die, like, or a dimension. I don't know. Where they live and die. Centuries happen in like days to us. So when they come over to Earth, they have like a full like 5 minutes of just sheer panic where everybody's like being killed and, you know, things are happening all over the place. But 5 minutes later, the aliens all age and die because they're just not, their like age is not physically adaptable when they come over here. So like 2 weeks later, the same alien race reinvades Earth, but this time they have a device that literally makes them like not age or age at the same rate as humans do while they're here. So when you destroy them, they quickly shrivel up and die. But otherwise, they're able to survive. But that happens within 2 weeks, but to them, it's been like 100, 200, 300 years.
Yeah, and they come back with better technology, more advanced weaponry.
Yeah.
That's a good. I mean, that's a good thing to draw on. Like, it's good to have that inspiration to consider.
We
Like-
both put it together at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. Like that's an interesting sort of balance they both strike, where they just none of them can really get ahead because who fucking knows what's going on the other side? What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
I think though the low gravity people want to like reunite their planet, they're afraid of the other people, the high gravity people, because they literally have no idea what their evolution has been. It's like if in what happened in Invincible happened in reverse. Like the humans were trying to invade them, and we're just fucking immortal. You know?
Yeah.
There's also the thought of like, because the black hole is like the center point of the magic, this is where they're drawing their magic from. There's this thought of like, who knows what being that close to it
Did
like
to
there's
them.
like
Yeah.
a fear of like, holy shit, imagine how like the proximity of that, what has that done, like what could they be now?
So you think maybe the high gravity people, despite being like based on dwarves, are very magically involved?
Maybe, yeah, it could be a total reverse with like the elves in this idea of like the mechanical
Yeah.
people.
That's kind of cool.
Almost like the low gravity is more of like a almost like a steampunk cyberpunk kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would the building
Okay.
like? Would it be more like floating cities, sort of like fucking Ghibli style?
Probably, yeah.
How low gravity we want it to, like to the point where like no one, like you could just jump off a fucking thing and be fine, probably.
I mean, they should probably still be gravity.
Yeah, I imagine
So,
there's
because
still...
it's something for them to overcome.
I think it's got to be like moon gravity rules, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah, that
like...
makes sense.
Where if you were to plummet from like, I don't know, 20 stories up, where on Earth, you just go... You'd splat. In a high gravity, it'd just be that, but like 700 times faster. But for the low gravity, maybe they're just fine. Just like, all right, guys, I'm going to go to school. And then they just jump, and then they float down like 100 feet or something like
Yeah.
that. And they're chill. Like, they just always have Featherfall casted on them.
Yeah.
So maybe then if we want to do like fall, you know, bring that back in, they literally can just fall down to another section of like the city. It's fucking Fall Guys. It's that one portion of Fall Guys where the hexagons give out over
I
time.
really like the idea though of some like
God
low
damn it.
gravity and high gravity territory. It's like we gotta get out of here. Let's just jump off the building. Forget like.
And then they start slowly floating down, and the low gravity people are just like, really? So, okay, hold on. For the high gravity people, do you think if they were to fall, they would just survive the fall? But for like on the high grav, so like again, if we're considering fall as like a central
Yeah.
theme, if they also have like tiered structures just underground, they have just like a central pit that just falls down, and they can just jump off and then just like hit the ground almost immediately, and they're fine.
With the idea of like of sturdy bones, then yeah, I think that's definitely like they both have their own feather fall. Just one is through like
yeah,
actual
one's just
speed.
super fast feather fall, the other one's super slow feather fall. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll
Okay.
see ya. Whoa. the credit, like the credit
neighbor.
of the cliff.
It's the fucking 90 degrees for fucking hey neighbor. Fucking, I love that. That's 90 degrees. My favorite goes wrong show fucking thing. We just make 90 degrees.
Would you like a drink? No.
Thank you. Delicious. I miss them. I hope they come back.
Yeah. Just the sheer horror of the first low graph people to see a high graph come through and is like, oh hi, singularity.
You just start fucking low graph lights. Look, we got a little heavy over here. Stop it. Stop, don't call me that.
I'm taking away your featherfall.
Yeah. Be sure to keep saving as you do it.
Yeah.
Just in case.
It also then gives the high gravity people, because they're super well adapted, they have a literal physical advantage in both areas, because they're the only people in the high gravity world that can instantly hit the ground and feel no pain. But the low gravity people don't. They fall, they're dead. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess the personalized gravity field, do we want to count that as slowing them down too, or would it just be more so that they don't get crushed?
I think it's just so they don't get crushed. I mean, we could make it so that they would float, or maybe it can like overexert itself to make sure that you float down. But if you do that, it then puts you on like a timer. Like you have to get back to wherever you're from, or fix it, or feed it more fuel or something like that, or else it'll shut off.
There was one really rich low grav guy who wanted to go see the ruins of one of the first war parties, and so they made their grav suit out of titanium and carbon fiber.
It could be like, like in video games they always do the thing like in space things like, oh, your oxygen's going, like go to the oxygen area. I'm thinking more like they need to seek out places being pulled in and just draw from that. So like they kind of need to stay near the entrance a bit.
Okay.
I mean, they might have like a way to predict the way the black hole's gonna like,
or induce one.
They have like all that. Like they might have like trackers that they can be like, okay, we have to get to this place.
It might not be significant, but it might not be significant enough. But they might be able to induce a small thing that like disappears after a bit.
Oh, what like an emergency like get the fuck out button.
Well, no, an emergency. Just like bring this over to the other. Like just make a brief hole for a little bit before it like fixes itself. Like, it's not strong enough to fully bring something over and keep it there, but it
can recharge your suit.
Yeah, but it might have some other applications, too, of just having, like, a little pocket of low gravity and high gravity zone.
I just like this idea of them having, like, expedition teams that are, like, on timers.
Yeah, I like that, too, though.
This amount of time, we have to get to this place where there will be a pocket for us to get back with.
Yeah, but we also have to consider this from a D&D.
I mean, yeah.
Part like I feel like if everybody's like, okay, guys, I know we have something to do, but can we do it in this general area, please?
We have 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think.
That's 10 years back home.
Yeah, I don't think the like it needs to be in a specific place unless it then becomes a story thing of like we need to get there. Like a chase.
Yeah, that's kind of what
almost.
I'm thinking.
Like in a combat scenario.
Hold on, Vocab's actually right about that. Of low grav expedition team that goes there and comes back. Like, what is even?
Yeah, well, anybody who goes to the high grav area has to go with the full.
I imagine that's probably why the low grav people are so militaristic. It's to like destroy any individuality and to make sure that you do not have friends, you do not have family. We are one unit, all of us, so that when you go back and then come back, you're not losing the people you care about. You're more just like giving more to
the hive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What if there are mind flayers?
Like they became mind flayers.
They're the first mind flayers.
That's interesting.
They don't look like them, but they act like a mind flayer.
That'd be cool.
Obviously the original humans would feel like they would rationally like, no, we were the first ones. Okay, we need to stay alive for future generations. Let's keep our minds alive.
or what they like create like the tadpoles. It's like a biological
Or do
experiment.
they completely? I'm saying like they're the first. Like the elder, it's Elder Brain like it is function like a
interesting.
think tank kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Like the first, like they justify it as like, well, we're the first one, so we got to make sure our minds are preserved. So when everything gets back together, we can,
That's interesting.
So they're like mind flayers in name alone. They may not look like them, other than like tall, lanky, kind of.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like the idea that they're like elves in nature, that they're lanky and like maybe very like sleek and even like to an extent beautiful, sort of idea of like what an elf is. But they are just functionally the most like insane fucking people that they
Yeah.
That they are like super military, that they have no individuality, no person. It's you are a number, you are a rank, and that's it.
They're the fucking Invader Zim, tall one. That's fucking. So your whole society is based on who's taller. Yeah. Though I guess the newer races the newer generations would be taller and taller gradually.
Yeah.
But I guess like what does it look like as a player on that side? Like how are you getting out of that? How are you like I don't know, is it like you're
Just a
not
band.
following it, you're fucking defective? Like what is it?
That is true. Like I'm assuming in this society they probably have controlled. Like there's just like people that like they're just raising people to be soldiers. They're raising people to be. Yeah, because what would be a daily life of some? Is everyone just a soldier, or is there a possibility? Are people? Is
I think
anyone
Have to be
living
upper
casually?
people.
I think there have to be people living casually, but maybe the idea is that they are trained like from birth that at any moment, if they are called upon, they can
Oh, yeah.
immediately become a soldier. Like
Education is purely like they all have the same sort of education and stuff.
yeah, it's like, hey, we need a new expedition team. If your name starts with like G, R, or M, line up, you're going in.
Like fucking Hunger Game raffle style.
Yeah, yeah. If you were born on November 1st and your name starts with G, R, or M, you're the new
going in.
expedition team. Get over here. And then everybody's just cool with that because that's just what's expected of them.
Get in the
Well, I
pit.
guess I'm not seeing you again, Ma. Yeah, because I guess they definitely need. I'm conflicted because you need to have them be that ready to be like, all right, well, I guess see ya, parents. Like, I feel like there needs to be emotional detachment in the society.
Yeah, that's why it's all
About-
military. Because
Yeah.
it's breaking you down. You're not allowed to have friends. You're not allowed to have attachments.
Yeah.
You can live your life however you want, right? But at any moment, you need to be ready to drop that. So if you form attachments, you are making yourself weaker.
And
Because
so
then
there's,
you can't do your job.
So that could be the progenitor of what tadpoles are. Of just instead of like changing them, it almost like erases someone's will, and then just
Yeah.
instead of like something that can be fully
Oh, okay.
controlled,
Well, I mean,
it is.
they're already like we've already said they're already like on the route of like modifying themselves and their body.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's almost like an
impossibility for them to
emotion-eating
develop.
parasite.
Yeah, exactly.
It is almost like an emotion-eating parasite more than like turning them into an elephant. It is like an actual, and it's something they have access to because of the new system that they're in.
Oh yeah, they could have like if like they like conquer another planet, they can find it.
When they spawned in, there was like an elephant like ship that was like just got no clipped in. But it just could be something they developed to though like I feel like if in a campaign setting, I think it makes more sense that is currently experimental
Yes.
instead of
Yeah.
the common thing. But like yeah, imagine what happens like there's just a general nurseries across the planet. You're born, raised for a couple of years. When you're able to hold a weapon, you're just sent to like the military school. Essentially, you're just in a boarding school for the rest of your life until, and then you're probably just assigned a job. Then you're assigned a daily job. You're given rations and stuff, and then when you're called upon, you're called upon. You know.
They don't even have birthdays. They raise through ranks as they age.
Yeah.
I would imagine birthdays matter because then the draft can have a second thing to.
I suppose that's fair.
Yeah, they need to track how many years you're like. They probably wouldn't send a fucking child in there.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Well,
I mean,
hey, children can get into smaller places, right? You know, so maybe
it.
they are that far detached.
Yeah, that would imply a lot more knowledge of the other side, which even after this time, I'm not sure how much they would even still have.
That is fair.
That's true.
That has been sent back. No, they send children because they look more stout, so they can blend in. Oh god, could you imagine them artificially changing kids to match high gravity people?
Oh god.
There's fake high gravity people in their society.
I mean, there was probably at least one fucked up commander who had that idea and tried to put it into practice.
I could see that being
missing
an actual a false high gravity person.
Am I missing anything from the low grav talk that we've had?
Not really. I think
Okay.
I think you've generally gotten everything we discussed. You know, they live up high, live very militaristic.
Okay. I'm adding Illithid Punk.
Yeah, Illithid site.
Cyberpunk Illithid sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Does.
Hold on. I just see if I can find a. Hold on. Cyberpunk Mind Flayer images. I hate AI art. Stop giving me AI art. Die.
You had to know that you were gonna
I
see
know,
that.
but fuck. Here, hold on. This is really cool art.
Oh damn, that is cool.
Here's what they could look like to begin with, because this is more of a spacesuit almost. And then they physically morph themselves to start looking like that.
Interesting.
That's kind of sick.
Especially with low gravity
yeah.
having stuff that helps them get almost kind of like monkey travel.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that might be more natural because they're definitely not gonna have cars or fucking carriages or anything, right?
Yeah, like fucking Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, everything would definitely be just sort of grapple based, I imagine.
With a lot of benches, you have a lot of support, so you don't necessarily need to be standing upright in high grab. You can go along the ground, have profile as well.
I'd imagine that mainly be kept for higher military people.
Yeah.
As more of a show of power. But I imagine a lot of stuff is built around the fact of low gravity movement, of just,
High grapple tendrils.
You're just a high grab guy and some fucking mechanical tentacle monster comes through your fucking rift.
Yeah. Oh. Hello, stranger. Where are you?
That's kind of sick.
I'm always a fan of holy images being seen as the scary one, because they'd be very bright, as opposed to low gravity. They'd be probably dark. The idea of this high, we're here. Don't we're fixing it. Don't worry. It's just way scarier.
We'll fix something.
So,
right?
do you think that due to the low gravity people being very military, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they still have gods that they worship?
I do, because like I mentioned, I think what would be very important, especially to the original founders of this system, is maintain life will go back exactly how it used to be.
They're pretty very, very conservative.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had to guess though, there are probably people other than we'll just call it the Elder Brain to for lack of a better word. The Elderbrain people are the original founders, and they're very conservative. Like everything, like this all in their minds, what they're doing, as delusional as it sounds, will go away once it's fixed. It's like, okay, then we'll go back to normal. Like we'll do all like it's fine. We'll do this, and then we'll go back to normal. So that makes me think there might be a split of motivations amongst like there might be higher ups in the low grav that kind of like, let's just keep this go. I mean, I'm in a cushy position. Let's just kind of keep this going.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to lose this. I like this freedom that the low gravity gives me.
Good old military corruption.
Yeah, let's just keep the war going. But I doubt it could ever be attainable anyway, so I think we're good. But I do like the idea of just sort of that mindset of the higher ups don't even really care if anything gets. They're just sort of sending people on missions at this point.
To keep up appearances, almost.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, go in there. And what if they sabotage them every so often? And that's how a campaign starts. Of like you're told like go in because you guys, you've been called. You need to go in.
Stranded.
Do this, and you're told that like, okay, you just need to get back after, let's say 30 minutes, right? You spend time in there 30 minutes, so over here 30 years would pass or whatever. You go in there 30 minutes, right? After the end of those 30 minutes, you need to come back to this specific location so that you can be shot back over here. And when they get there, there's no wormhole for them to enter through, and they're stranded. And that's how that starts. So they can either slowly work out that, oh, we were set up, or like we're supposed to be martyrs or something like that.
I feel like they wouldn't take that much of a risk if someone does. I mean, obviously they can suppress if need be. I think it'd be more so that just they're just suicide missions. Like they're just like completely impossible goals.
You need to go in there and like invade their capital city to identify what like civilization they've built. So then come back, and then it's just like you're screwed. You have no way of doing that. You're dead.
Do you think high gravity takes prisoners? Or do you think they just kill?
I think
because honestly, as long as low gravity is there, they'll just die on their own. They don't really need to do anything.
I gotta imagine that the high gravity people probably just don't give a shit.
Yeah,
because like you have an unattainable goal. You're not gonna be able to do it, right? All right, the fucking event horizon is screwing you guys over. You just can't do it. So your goal is unattainable, right? You're sending people in here to die. Who fucking cares? We're just gonna give them a job. Like, all right, go into the mines, make food for yourself. Like,
they keep them around.
I worry
because it's cheap labor.
I worry then that low gravity, high gravity, just are just the objective better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But if we're making low gravity people mind flayers, right?
Yeah, it is. But I kind of want. I would still like there to be
some moral grayness to it. That's fair.
Well, obviously the moral grayness starts from the initial of just like that was their plan.
No, to the high grav. To the high grav.
Yeah, high grav. I'm thinking they might like. There might be it might not be all of them, but there might be fanatics among them that view the black hole, that do view that religiously, and might be trying to expand it. Almost.
Oh, there might be like people who are the opposite way, trying to reunite it in the opposite fashion.
Oh, bring low grav
hole.
here.
Yeah.
Make that tug of war literally like a literal thing.
Yeah, like
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that was our planet. It's like this is our planet. It's that sort of like versus like that is like a consistent. Because it doesn't matter what side you are, you're going to want more land for your people. You're going to want more territory. You're going to want that. So naturally, both sides are going to want that. So I do like the idea of both of them wanting that.
Right, because like if there's this idea of like, I don't know, I mentioned it, but just like because like the low grav people, they have the rest of a place that they can go. They have more stuff that they can do beyond just their little pocket. High grav have what they have and nothing else.
Do you think
they almost need that?
Do you think maybe the high gravity people like say the planet literally just like instead of it splitting down the middle, it splits into like a tenth, and they only have like a tenth of the original planet to call their home. And because of that, they are literally trying to like scrounge back whatever land they can.
Yeah, I do worry that giving that much land to low gravity might just like how are they not fucking?
I mean, a tenth is just like a thrown out number. You know, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it could be a quarter. You know.
Yeah, I do like the idea of giving high gravity a bit lower than low gravity. I don't want to make it too big as
too
steep, but I do. Yeah, I do like the idea of it being that they don't have as much, and they are. That is why so they might still be aggressive about it. So here's like a random thought. Like this isn't nothing about what we said is fully like said this, but I'm wondering if we want it to be like we made illithids, but just a different way, like the interpretation, like what the high gravity would that be like hell, like demons, like they're almost like demons in a sense. They're more survival focused, more like bestial and like they need like they're fighting for pure survival, which I believe demons tend to just be more like just fighting, more like.
I mean, if you want to run like a full-on parallel to sort of like proper D&D canon, you've got the Gith. Yeah.
I don't think that would fit.
It doesn't really
like,
fit the
like
idea.
If you've got the idea of people that want to remain and those that want to bring down low grav, you've basically got the Githzera and Githyanki there already.
And also the fact that like we've started with the idea that these like faux mind flayers are like super militaristic, which is what the Gith are. We could then invert that of like make mind flayer society the high grav, where Gith society is the low grav, but they're mind flayers. High grav is now mind flayer society, but they're not mind flayers.
Yeah, which would make sense with the limited resources. Everyone working.
What if for the high gravs we were talking about? Do they take prisoners? What if instead of them taking prisoners, they forcibly convert the low grav people into high grav people?
There's almost like a test that's like this may kill you, but
if you survive, you're welcome to stay here because you can't go back. You're screwed.
Yeah, like
if you go back, they're just gonna kill you.
It's like like I imagine like they set someone up in a chamber and there are like two healers constantly like keeping them from dying, and they push them like they fucking put them in the crusher, you know, essentially.
We're like tether them and we slowly put them.
I think that fucks. I think that fucks because it's morally gray because it's a matter of like, do you want us to just kill you or do you want to stay forever?
It's a choice. Like they just tell you like straight up, here's your choice.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. Okay.
He's like, I do like it's like my D&D character. He got stopped midway through. He's just a normal guy. He's an averagely sized man.
That's kind of funny.
Everyone would be like, "What the fuck is that thing?"
He's just a human. Like for dwarves and then elves, it's just John.
Yeah, it is always fun to just sort of take D&D races and put them on their head of just like different ways of viewing them. I was like,
stranded and captured. The high gravs.
Yeah, and that could fit into that like that like here's your deal. Like here's your because I do like the idea of like the nine hells. Like let's see who can. No, I ain't touching this planet. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. This shit. This shit ain't right. I'll go to like just Faerun. Like, I'm good. Don't need to get involved in whatever this is.
Ain't nothing good down here.
I don't even know how I begin. I don't even think infernal powers could give them what they would want.
We're not making out of this with this one.
We ain't making it out of this.
We ain't making it out of Avernus with this one. We do not need these motherfuckers in the Blood War. Azrael, listen.
We
don't want them.
Other realities.
We just don't want them. We don't need them. It's not cool. It's like, imagine Bliss just like, no, we're not doing that. We're not touching it. When they die, if they come here, sure, whatever, but we're not reaching out. Nope. I don't know what that is. I don't want to deal with it. I don't.
They just got, dude. They don't even have illithids, and they made them.
They turned themselves into illithids. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
I like to imagine like illithids. I'm like, okay, here's a plan with her. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here!
No.
Imagine illithids like invade this like the low grav, and they're like,
brothers.
Oh shit!
You are ugly, but you're like us. Interesting.
Honorary illithids, monkey strong together.
Apes together, strong. Oh, let me fix my hair.
Into the elephant verse.
I think this fucks. I think this is a really cool idea for a setting.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna be cursed with never.
It will never be. It will never see. It'll never see the light of day.
Sag 07. But yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I like this. I like this just like sitting around and just talking about things. I want to do this from like the animation world as well. Like I just want to like sit around and talk with like I want to get like a bunch of people in though. I don't want it to just be like 2 or 3 people. Because I want to get. Oh, go ahead.
Animation world has endless creativity in terms of inspiration, but I feel like conceptually I wouldn't enjoy talking about it too much just because it would be just talking about different animation styles that could be existing there.
Oh, and I already have the animation styles.
Yeah, well, that's just what I mean. Like generally, I kind of just like making a word and just thinking of stuff more from that. Like I'd rather start from zero completely. Because I did not expect it would get to making
We
Illithid.
went from full to we're gonna turn ourselves into mind flayers.
That's really cool though.
That's a cool world idea. We should Christian it with a name.
Yeah, I want to. Also, if we want to continue world building, we can start like talking about like civilizations, NPCs, how things are. Like we can just make this a thing, but it's sort of up to like. We could do this for like an hour on Saturdays or whatever, like end stream, just shit talk, just shoot the shit and just like start building more and more and more.
I like the idea of there being like some central figure that's like, guys, we must have peace, and that man was Isaac Newton.
Equal and opposite reactions.
And then they got shot immediately. He was instantly killed.
But yeah, let's think about the name. Do we want to include fall somewhere in the name?
I guess the question would both sides share a name, or would they both have separate names?
I think like we should just come up with a setting guide, and then each of the 2 sides can have their own names.
Yeah, because low gravity would obviously be whatever the place originally was called.
Yeah.
Well,
actually, I think high grav would be whatever the original place, because they're so traditionalistic, and then the
low grav is traditionalistic.
Oh my god, sorry, I'm looking at high grav. It's right there. I was like, but yeah, you're right.
I want to interrupt, but like the only thing I can think of right now is like a high grav person coming back from low grav and be like, "What was it like? Longer than you think."
Longer than you think.
It's eternity in there.
Eternity up there.
Eternity in there.
Yeah. Free fall.
Free falling. It's Wonderwall. I want to involve the black hole in some way.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. Are we coming up with a name for the planet, or are we coming up with a name for the campaign setting?
I feel like I feel like there can't be. It has to be like a combination of what both sides are called.
Yeah.
So and then that's the name of it.
Let's talk about what low grav would be then, and then do high grav, and then mix the two to create the.
I think we need to discuss like what that place was, because that would obviously play into camp. Like what I feel like they would all build up to like what caused the black hole. You know, that'd be the ultimate like campaign.
Yeah.
So I think we need to discuss what culture was like before shit went bad, because there'd be remnants of that on the planet still.
I've got
On
it.
both sides. Yeah.
Kanai Ward.
Kanai Ward, yeah. The great secret of Kanai Ward was a black hole. They were building underneath.
Makoto, what are you doing to us if I feed them tadpoles?
They won't be zombies anymore. Why don't you just like stop?
Just not
She
do
give them
that.
Sunscreen
I
and
never,
ramen.
oh, I never thought about it that way. I never thought if I just like used this endless
What a-
military and
what an
technology to.
Awful fucking. What an awful game.
I feel like it'd be so much better if the problem just wasn't fixed. You know, like they just leave
Yeah.
it. Like just a somber. They can leave it. Like you can just leave it on a somber note, or just like I don't know
It's
what
just
the
gotta
like.
be like that forever. That's just how.
Well,
it is.
and it's just like how fucking Danganronpa 1 ended with just like I don't know if we're gonna live or die. It just that's just we're alive now, you know. It's just that's like, he could have just left it like that and they would have been fine. But no, he
They're
had
alive now, but they have noodles this time.
yeah, they can eat ramen noodles and they just put on some sunscreen and the government is 100% okay with them leaving that place. Trust me. The government would never view them as a threat, even though it
Uchikoshi
took
would
everything.
never.
It took blackmailing and everything. Yeah, Uchikoshi said, yeah, the Earth, yeah, got nuked.
Yeah. Dude, if fucking Raincoat was an Uchikoshi game, could you imagine how fucking wild that would be?
Can we also remember that 999 went from like, oh man, this was an elaborate plot to, get revenge on past killers. Wow. And then you get to Virtue's Last World. Yeah, world's fucked.
Well,
It's
everything's
gone.
dead.
It's
Everything. Gone.
gone instantly.
World got nuked. You know, you're on the moon.
Everything
Mars.
that happened here is so we have a 1% chance of someone else getting a better ending.
It's fucking insane.
Like all that, like by doing all that, it does make it just makes a timeline. All they are doing are making a timeline out there somewhere where some people could have a happy ending. That's all that does, and everyone else is just fucked.
Yep. Dude, it's nuts.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking awesome. I love
It is awesome.
Uchikoshi's world building. I think it's just fucking phenomenal.
Because he's willing to say bad shit happens.
Yeah. Fucking the Disney Channel fucking Kodaka versus like
Yeah.
Adult Swim. I don't know what else.
Not to say he hasn't done it well though, because I fucking like. Well, I guess it wasn't really him. It was more the anime that made it a happy ending for Danganronpa 2.
Yeah.
But he was willing to leave that ambiguous, whether they could like do anything about that.
Uchikoshi had to have told him.
Hey,
That had to be
hey,
Uchikoshi.
blood.
Listen, man.
And then V3's like, maybe Samugi was lying.
God, it's so bad.
Maybe.
Ah. Okay.
Didn't even have the confidence to keep it. Like, it was a horrible plot point, but it just shows he didn't even have the confidence to like be like that. Well, we were in a TV show.
It's fucking wild because there's no way she could have. There's just no way. There's actually no way. There's no way that I can suspend my disbelief enough to say, yeah, Samugi.
If she was lying, who was the audience?
Exactly. Like, what are you just about? Like AI deepfakes?
She hand wrote all of those comments.
I handwrote all those comments. I agreed with every comment that was on that section.
Fucking, like, did they have to be, like, AI deepfakes? Like, what was the memory like then? She couldn't have done that. There's no way she could have done that. She's a fucking cosplayer. We've never seen her do anything other than be a cosplayer. Ever.
Think about it. Just
I like her-
She
I like-
cosplayed into the memories.
I like how Uchikoshi and I like how Kodaka tried to be like clever by saying, "Oh, Cosplax happens," and instead of just saying, "Oh yeah, I was just lying about Cosplax," it's like, no, the implication is that all of Danganronpa is fake because I can cosplay as them. But in that case, if all those characters are fake that she made, like those are technically all characters and not real, why can't she cosplay as them?
Yeah, why does cosplay happen if she cosplays as Kaede?
Yeah, because that's not a real person.
She's
that's a
also
fake-
aware that that Kaede isn't a real person. It falls apart. It falls apart the more you think about it.
Mhm.
The best world building streams always turn into Kodaka hate. I love it.
As it should
Oh,
do. As
God.
it should do.
Yeah, because Kodaka, he didn't make that decision to introduce the revolutionaries in Ganai Ward and then have that just be a heist case.
Killed all of them
the
instantly.
revolutionary Monkey D. Dragon.
Yeah, he just
revolutionary army.
Yeah, its plan was to flood the entirety of the bank ward, so all the safes float to him.
As if
And then
it
he
wouldn't
leaves.
be still heavy. It's just like it's so fucking bad.
So stupid.
Yuma was like interfacing with that rebellion for like 2 hours at most, and within that time he wiped out the entire revolution.
Oh my god! What a
It's so bad.
fucking awful writer.
It really is such a spike of just like first 2 cases, like okay, or first 3, like okay, I mean, like there's definitely issues, but he might be able to turn this around. And then just chapter
But like
3,
he's trying to write a detective, like an actual detective story this time.
I'd say with the Nailman, he was like that was the closest he did there. Nailman's the closest case he made that was actually like pretty solid, but just fell apart of it being just a logic puzzle more than an actual case.
It was just like 3 kind of okay mysteries.
Yeah, it's
as
like
opposed to
it's
one properly good one.
Yeah, it was like me opening a book of like escape, like how did they escape from the like? It's like I just got showed up. It was more of like I said, a brain teaser. It's like how would
Yeah.
you? There was no like deep story revolving around this dude. They weren't even named.
Yeah, the clergyman
It was
is my favorite
Yeah,
villain.
just the priest. It was just the priest, the servant, the nun. Though I did like the nun. I liked her quite a bit.
She was funny.
Yeah, that's what he was talking.
Yeah, yeah,
Funny.
in a fight, right? And
What?
what's
I said she was funny.
No, Vocab's just saying because she's hot, fucking,
Oh, okay.
right, goth nun girl. But yeah, those are just like logic puzzles, and I didn't really care because the motive is like the world's bad. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, living it.
And
yeah, I see that. I know that already. Can you tell me
I'm
your own
the
personal?
reason it's bad.
Can you tell me your own personal struggles where I feel like, oh man, something really brought you to this point, rather than like, you know what, I think I'm about to kill. I'm just gonna start killing people now. And then chapter 4 happened, and they just broke their rules about like who people get involved with the crimes also get executed. And just also the stupidity of that plan of hiring a hitman to stab you after the crime, and then leave his like leave the fucking all the evidence behind with him. Like that was just, you know. And then chapter 5. Chapter 5 happened.
The only like point of contention in chapter 5 was that the switch was so low quality we couldn't quite tell what color the blood was.
Yeah. That must have been it. And then he pulls off the mask, he's like, I'm you, Yuma. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We guessed this an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, I the first thing I guessed was that Yuma was number 1.
We knew this, man.
Yeah, like we
had to take the wind out of your
you're number
sails,
1.
but
I'm also a homunculi, and I escaped and went to Homunculi Town to free the homunculi. It's like, why? I mean, they're like dangerous over there. Like, that's just like, they may be homunculi, but like, they're like monsters. They're like actual creatures. I forget, did he set them free, or did they just get free and then he went over there and dealt
I think
with
they
it?
just got free, and he like just sort of came there and like they were gonna wipe out the city, but he like negotiated them to not do that.
I mean, most of that facility was underground, though. How did they?
I think they like something. I think it's like something blew up maybe, and it like exposed the sunlight, and it.
Yeah, but
caused
there
it
would have
to
been
turn
like,
violent.
but there's like points down there where it's like,
Oh no,
not-
man!
there's like there's like mandatory like staircases that are completely underground, and we saw the state of the facility in the present, so like that must have been like, it like there would have just been a lot of time where a bunch of people were like, hey, where the fuck are we?
Where am I, man?
And just nighttime never came, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, how do you write a mystery so poorly that you forget it fucking?
He forgot that houses
single
exist.
day?
He forgot houses. Well, I mean, that's fair. He forgot houses exist. He forgot that's because he believes safes could like no clip through buildings apparently to
Yeah.
get to people. So I guess I'm not surprised he forgot houses exist too. I have to imagine like this is it's so bad to the point I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that the translation fucked something up, because there's no way that it's that bad that he forgot that.
Like, it's insane. I don't think so. I think he's just. I think he's.
I feel like I don't feel like they translated all the rules correctly or something. I have to I cannot believe he thought he did all that.
No,
But,
he could just be
even if you
Lenage.
didn't translate all of the rules like that, like it just within the story, the consistency doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like, it just goes from like a bad story to a terrible is like the comparison.
Like, I don't know, he could just be Lenage. It's like, oh, actually, if you're in the room when somebody else dies, that makes you the killer. Actually,
don't worry, I can get through this locked door.
God, how in the shit? I hate talking about Lenage. I'm sorry, but like it really does come back up every so often. He really said, no, the main character can just kill somebody and get away with it, and nobody else dies. They can just get it because somebody else actually turned out to be the killer. But no, they didn't at all. How? Why? It doesn't make sense. It's just like you wanted the main character to kill somebody but get away with it and still keep the game going.
And he gets so praised for it too.
I fucking hate it.
He's regarded the best.
I don't understand.
I'm in a Danganronpa server, right? Okay, full disclosure, I've been in the server for like 6 years, I think. And I refuse to leave it because some of the people in there are the funniest, stupidest people I've ever met, right? Because they will like blindly be like, oh man, the fucking V3 twist is so good. And it's like, dude, like just seeing the unfiltered idiocy of some of the people is just so fucking funny to me.
Well, the craziest thing for me with the fucking Fongon hub is like them saying words like, yeah, no problematic stuff, guys. Like, and then like they allow people to praise fucking another in that same channel.
That's insane. Fucking insane. I've tried telling people. I really do. I do try. I do my best.
Yeah.
But you can't fix stupid. It can't be done. You know, you can try as hard as you want, but it really just comes down to they've got to like realize it themselves that just like they're not getting anywhere with blindly praising media.
Can't be saved.
Yeah. All right, let's give this fucking world a name. You're right, Vocab. Let's call it something.
We always come back to this.
This is how Carlos and I write. By the way,
yeah.
Here's a little peek into our writer's room.
Yeah.
I'm glad I do it alone.
Oh, okay, I would get no work done if I did it alone. The Carlos literally is the only reason that it's progressing.
To be fair.
Oh god, yeah, I simply cannot do it. My ADHD will not allow me to fucking do something without like 3 other people watching me to make sure it gets done.
I feel like if you're not talking, like bouncing ideas off stuff, you run the risk of it becoming stale, or I feel like talking it out with someone definitely keeps it fresh.
I think also,
I just talk to myself. I just sort of.
You look in the mirror.
Yeah, I have a conversation with myself and be like,
no, I think
or I
like
explain things as if I'm explaining it to an audience.
Yeah, I think that could also work because a lot of the times, like when we were like restarting everything like from scratch and like just kind of keeping names and whatever, we would talk out things about like cases and just be like, this sucks. This is awful. Why did I myself, when I was like 13, write this? Oh yes, because I was 13. But like. Why did I do this? Why did I think this was a good idea? Like half of the things in the original document got completely removed, and like the remaining 50% got changed. I think because I don't trust 13-year-old me to do fucking anything right. You know, like,
yeah.
I don't trust current me to do anything right.
That's true. But all things considered, like what we've got going on now is fucking phenomenal. I think.
Yeah.
I think so much of it is so much better.
Very proud of it.
Yeah. Some things obviously still need some work. Like we're not completely conceptually done with a couple of things, but from what we have, it looks like from before it was shit, right? When we started, because nothing was done, right? It was just shit. Then it became polished shit. Now I think it's gold. I think it's gold, and it could be platinum, right? But it's gold right now. I think.
It's ranked right now.
We're
was
gonna
fucking
get the diamond.
Then episode 1's gonna like the fucking character introductions are gonna come out. And we're gonna get fucking like canceled immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Now, what's gonna happen is we're gonna release, like accidentally release like the first draft of everything, and people are still gonna blindly praise it because they're banging her up with fans.
I mean, yeah, we're really just
We're doing it for
Like-
ourselves. We're not doing it for them.
yeah. I know they're blindly gonna praise it, but I do hope out there like it is enjoyable enough that it does inspire someone to like wanna at least like 'cause when you're young, like even when I was young, and I played Danganronpa. I'm like, yeah, that was fun. That was a good experience. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really thinking about it a whole lot. So that sort of became my like mystery game sort of standard, that and Ace Attorney. Now that I'm older, I can like identify the flaws in both and acknowledge how to make that better because of that. Because like when we started writing the fankin, we were operating on Danganronpa rules.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I actually can't fucking believe that.
And then we just like
Like,
stopped.
this
Like,
sucks.
we're like, wait, fucking Danganronpa sucks. Why are you writing like this?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been so much better for it, like ever since like we realized like, hey, we don't need a character who's just an asshole for no reason. That's just unnecessary. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, we don't need like the bitch character. We don't need that.
And now we
Well,
have
like-
one of my favorite characters to write for because of that.
Yeah. She started as like, man, I hate writing for Yuki, and then I'm like, wow, fucking Yuki rocks. I love Yuki.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Okay, let's like actually give this
We're not
this thing
giving this a name ever.
if not, I'm just gonna cut out generated world and I'm just gonna call it fall, and it's gonna be like that forever.
Fall. It's instead of fell, it's fall.
This is pre-fell.
Yeah. Dude, there has to be. I don't know on which side it is, but there has to be like the main central city called just like Velo City.
That's fucking awesome.
Something-
No,
something-
that's sick. Hold on.
something
How do
goofy
I-
like
can
that.
Can I like add? How do I add things? I don't remember. It's not add category. What do I do for this again? I don't remember. I have to go to campaign items. Oh my god. Right, and then I go to location, add, location, Velo City, create
There you
campaign
go.
piece,
Just have that
update,
there.
cool, campaign items.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at gravity terms, see if we can fuck with anything we got. So like force, friction, inertia. I think you'd do something with inertia. Inverse relationship. Situation involving two variables in which one of the two increases in direct proportion to the decrease in the other. Which is, that's... Yeah, let me see if I can... when you need something fancy sounding, you pull out the old Latin converter. English to Latin.
Antonyms for gravity: inconsequentiality.
Welcome to my place, inconsequentiality.
Decorum.
What does that have to do with gravity?
I don't know.
Reciproca necessitetium. Jesus Christ.
No. Leave me alone.
Oh yeah, hamburger. Trying to think. I'm trying to find a good. I want to name it after. I feel like looking for like names might be better. Gravitas. Gravitas. That could be. I feel like that could be like heavy. I guess I guess the heavy gravity would be more focused on that gravity. So gravitas could work.
for high grav.
For high grav, yeah. And then low gravity. So I'm trying to think like we have the Wright brothers for the plane, but that doesn't I wouldn't call it right.
I don't know. What about like Isaac Newton? I think like equal and opposite reaction is really cool for this specifically because not only is it like literally gravity equal and opposite thing, but like there are two sides of the world.
It does work because like gravitas. It almost sounds like a great like praising of it. While Newton is a very Newton's like it's just the scientific word for like scaling it.
Yeah.
So just like gravitas Newton is the like gravitas dash Newton as the.
I mean, I could do like Newton, like TON.
Yeah. So the original world would have been called Ton.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
It works still with it.
Yeah. Original world was called Ton. Cool. And I'll just name the setting Ton.
Oh.
Sick. I want to do this again. Whether we
Yeah,
build more on this or we do it again, this was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put in a new let's say word generator. What else could we have gotten?
Oh no.
Draw. Which
Oh God. Draw.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Just do.
Instead of it
do.
like
Oh,
D-O
no.
do or
Yeah,
D-E-W?
just do.
Oh, okay.
Just D-O. Just do.
Fucking when I heard draw, I was thinking like cowboy, like draw.
Yeah.
You know?
Draw.
Not like animation draw.
We could have got just meat.
Isn't Dimension 20 like? Isn't that covered already?
Yeah, just meat. I've never actually seen Dimension 20 stuff.
At one point, there was like a Game of Thrones X Candyland campaign, and Matthew Mercer DM'd a sort of sequel campaign to that one, which was based on a bunch of different food groups, and one of them was meat.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I guess I've seen speaking of that, I don't know why I've been consistently getting recommended articles of people just like not liking Campaign 3 or Critical Role. I've been seeing a lot of that sentiment going around.
I've seen it too. I don't know why. I mean, I've never watched Critical Role. I follow it loosely, but that's it.
I'm like partway through Campaign 3, and the sentiment's weird. I kind of agree. It's got a kind of different feel to. I feel like all the campaigns have had different feels to them.
Yeah.
It's like they've grown more accustomed and they've become more professional and everything like that. But it feels different.
Yeah, because obviously, like they're not streamed anymore. I know people have an issue with that, which that's not really their fault. I'm not gonna ever fucking.
I mean, that wasn't even like because they moved to being pre-recorded partway through campaign 2, and didn't really change then. I don't really know what it is, but it's just there is. It might be just like part of like people spent so long with the campaign
2.
Yeah. The change, it's such a drastic change that it just doesn't feel right.
From what I've seen people talk about, the two main things that people tend to dislike is one, the party doesn't seem to mesh well together, and no one really has any. It doesn't really feel like a party. It just feels like kind of people doing something.
Would agree, I think.
Second is just because of all the side shit that they're doing. The pacing of Campaign 3 is like at a snail's pace because they have like 3 other things that they do before they do a Critical Role session.
I think there's I think I skipped an episode because they spent most of it they spent like half of an episode just on an airship going to a place and discussing a plan for what they would do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that works fine if they're doing they're planning on like 200 sessions or something like that, then having like half a session literally dedicated to just talking is fine.
Yeah,
but
I think the problem was more that like it was a kind of a plan that they never really arrived at a definitive plan, and it was a plan they had already spent a while discussing.
Yeah, like there's a difference between like chatting and like, you know, building character between each other and just planning. Because it
feels like a decision paralysis just manifest for like half a session.
Because I had a campaign that Carlos guest starred in for, you know, like 2 sessions, and they fucking talked about how to go about like a fight, like a boss fight that they knew was gonna happen.
Oh god.
For literally 4 hours.
I remember
literally,
that. That was
because
awful.
I wanted to give them free reign because I knew that was them. That's how they like to play. So I gave them the room. I hate DMing like that. I can't stand it anymore. You know, when I was starting DMing, I was like, I'm gonna let my players just kind of like do whatever they want, and then I'm gonna just help them along the way to get them to an inevitability, like some sort of point at the end, right? Because I didn't know what I liked at that point. It was that session that I went, man, I fucking hate this. Like, I can't stand this. I can't stand doing this.
Just and then they didn't even do the plan at the end.
They just charged in.
They didn't even do anything. It was. I thought I was gonna lose my mind.
It always ends up like that.
And then like 3 sessions later, I was one of the players, and I just came to the conclusion like I can't continue this. I need to just let it die because I can't do this. And then I took like a 6-month break from DMing, and then I came back to Gentoct, and I fucking love Gentoct. Gentoct is my bread and butter. Although it's something I'm going to be leaving soon. I don't know if it's going to be temporarily or completely, but we'll see.
Yeah, but like, what else was with Critical Role? I think, yeah. So it was just like party doesn't mesh well. They introduced a character in the beginning that everyone really liked, and it helped bring the group together, and then they were just gone. And that just kind of like there was no group leader afterwards.
Dorian?
Yeah, Dorian.
Yeah, dude. Why did they get rid of Robbie Damon? Why? I love Robbie Damon.
Yeah.
He was fucking awesome.
It didn't seem like it was like a bad by any means.
No, it wasn't. Like... he was a guest character. He was always supposed to be a guest character. But he was in the campaign for like 20 sessions, right? At that point, I thought it was just gonna be like he was just gonna stick around.
I wish he had.
Yeah,
done.
people said like his departure was also just like a fucking mess. Like it was just like a really rushed thing. People are saying that this campaign's very railroady.
Yes, it kind of is. There's another fairly major criticism that I see a lot. That like there's a joke that they've had that like a lot of the party feels like they could kind of just be like a background NPC, like someone you would just find, except for the fact that like there is one member of the cast who is like almost very clearly the centerpiece of the story.
That's unfortunate.
Is that Laura?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. Which is a shame because I love some of the other characters.
Yeah. Is Hell's Bells the name of the group?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was like a ship name for Laura and Marissa's characters.
No.
Okay.
Although I think that's just real. I don't even think it's a ship. I think it's just real.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird because they always seemed more like sisters to me in the beginning, but like, who cares?
Yeah, it's their characters. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, Bell's Hells is the group name.
Okay.
But I love Fern. Fern's fantastic. I love Fern. But she's just.
I like Aurum.
She's just there.
Yeah, she is kind of just there.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. It's just there's a lot of just there, and nothing seems to be. There's a lot of like filler shit going on in that.
Well, there's also like it kind of feels like because it almost kind of feels like Matt's falling into like needing to escalate with every campaign, because like the stakes for campaign 3 are ridiculously high. They're probably the highest they have ever been.
They're talking about
for
like
the
gods and
entire
shit,
show.
right?
Like beyond, like they're talking about like forces that could wipe out the gods entirely. But
Jesus.
it feels like it jumps. To
And we
that.
we start at like level what, 2?
They started at level 3, I think.
Level
Yeah.
3. Like, Jesus Christ! It's
And
it's like episode what,
they-
60?
They got to that. I think they were level 8 when the first major part of that happened.
Yeah, that's a bit like, because like Vecna's one thing, because that Vecna's existence got introduced when they were already high level. Like that was it was
Yeah.
timed appropriately.
And
They
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 didn't
were
even
already
fight
like what,
Vecna
level
until
15
they
at that
didn't even-
point?
like they fought Vecna like half of the pass for like level 20.
Yeah.
There was like, yeah, so like definitely like I've heard that complaint a lot of like, there's like the stakes are stupid high, and it just also no one has any reason to pursue those stakes other than I don't want to die, which seems
Yeah,
like,
that sucks.
it's a
Yeah.
fairly like a major like cognitive dissonance between like what is happening and how
Yeah.
it feels.
I
like it
live in
should
this
be going.
world, therefore I don't want it to explode, you know?
yeah, and then, but like also along with
Which
the
is-
fact that people are what is it? It's everyone in this world shares the exact sentiment of like, oh, God's bad, like, or like people like I've heard a lot of people criticize like everyone, like Matt has not introduced another like view of the gods. It just been everyone seems to be generally like, yeah, God's bad. I'm happy to see him gone. Like there hasn't been somewhat.
I haven't watched a lot of recent stuff since they did the party split, but
There was a party split?
yeah, they had a big moment where like the party got split in half. So we had like they introduced like I think like 5 guest characters between the two sides for like a 10 episode stretch or something.
Jesus.
So they had like what did they have? They had Abria. They had a guy who was in who like the only thing I know him from is Fame Reasons Why. Who else did they had? They had oh, what's her name from Dimension 20? Is it Emily?
Is the one that was DMing?
That's
No.
Abria Isengard.
Yeah, Abria
Yeah.
was in it, but I'm trying to think who. There's like the Dimension 20 character. Can't remember.
I don't know. Dimension 20.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
Emily
unfortunately.
Exford, that's who it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dimension 20 requires a subscription, so I just can't watch
Yes,
it.
indeed.
Which is a shame, because I fucking love Brendan Lee Mulligan. I love him to death. He's fucking hilarious. I would love to watch him DM more things. I just can't, because it's locked behind a paywall.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds a little. I like coming to think of it. Like I just came to terms with it. I just did that in the last session though, didn't I?
What?
Fucking the world is ending and I live in it, so I don't want that to happen. Therefore,
Okay.
I adventure.
There is a slight difference because unlike with that, we've had multiple mini campaigns that have been telling one narrative throughout it that has been building up to this return and this incident. Well, this sort of, to my understanding, this new Critical Role conflict kind of came out of nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of like it holds together a number of different elements, but like the heart of it is like a really like there is no way you could have known that this would be a thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
At least I feel a little better now. Because I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, did I do that? Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm always very worried about like
Mm-hmm.
player reception to the things that I do. I'd love to get more feedback from everybody, other than just like, oh, that session was fun. Which don't get me wrong, me knowing that it's fun, good. You know, But I'd love to say like, oh, you know, you could work on this a little bit more. You could like work on this a little bit more. I should probably like let people know that I would like to have more feedback.
Yeah, because instead of it being objective good, I think it's also on the players as well to add that person at like have there is like what is because like, for instance with what you presented to us, Trick is very much against fully trusting it.
Yeah.
So like you present that information to us and it can be seen as like an objective good, but just based on characters too, a character might just take issue. That could very well be an objective good character that is trying to help us, but Trick is not going to trust that.
Yeah.
Like I did it for Absurdia too. Like I did something similar where I said Absurdia will be gone.
Yeah.
Not the world specifically, but I said Absurdia would be.
Yeah.
So like technically, if your characters wanted to, they could just go back to their old life.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like the narrative thing. It's like you came here to escape your past, or like to fight. Like you could just abandon that and leave.
Yeah.
You know,
go find
if you wanted
different continent that isn't like about to be destroyed, and just start again there.
Yeah, or like you just like it's more so like what it's dangling for is like abandon your ambition and live.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That was the way I viewed it. It is still very much like just a countdown clock. But with this for Critical Role, it seems more like it's just kind of like, oh, you've got like, it's like, man, I really would think I would have heard something about this beforehand.
Also, it's interesting that you're talking about like abandon your ambition and live, or fight to the end and possibly change something, because I've been thinking about themes recently, and part of the reason for that is because I'm writing my thesis right now on themes in Dungeons and Dragons. And it is interesting to have those articles talking about like not enjoying Critical Role 3 because things just kind of come out of nowhere, a little bit railroady, because now I get to add that to my thesis. But also I'm thinking about themes, and one of the big themes for Age of Dragons for me, which is fine because you get like, I'm fine to say this because it doesn't mean anything. It's just like something that hopefully will recur and stick with you. It is a breaking of a cycle. Because I started the Age of Dragons with, Wdea, which I've been very open about Wdea being the big bad evil guy. He starts off with, I want a do-over, I want to start again. So it creates a cycle. And I want you guys to break a cycle. And then through that, you can see cycles and different other things to hopefully then show you, like, I don't know, like breaking cycles, to not just put yourself into an abusive situation and then cause abuse onto somebody else, but to actually, like, shatter that. And which is also why the other secondary villains are trying to change the world in some way, because they're changing a cycle, they're breaking a cycle, but in a negative way, because they're manipulating the cycle to their own benefit, as opposed to actually fully breaking a cycle.
They're just more manipulating where it goes more than changing it.
Yeah.
But I do, like, I know you obviously wouldn't do it because you need to keep that mystery of like what happens during it, but it would have been really fucking ballsy if you started the main campaign with that final fight and us losing, or like
I thought about it. I
figured you did. With that concept in mind, I'm surprised you didn't just start us off in the final fight.
I wanted to, but then I would have to say, all right, guys, put yourselves at like level 15 or something, you know.
I'm on roll 20, man. I'm on D&D Beyond. I can do that.
I know you could, but like some of the other people, especially like people who don't have a concrete idea of where their character is going to end up, Yeah. And also just the fact that like I don't know if all of your characters are going to be alive in that last fight.
That's fair. Yeah.
Especially Trick, because things could very easily happen to Trick. He's a frail old man. He's a frail old man
with a 7 in intelligence.
So I really had to be like, yeah, you guys. I mean, then again, if it's not a perfect cycle, then I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to avoid that just because I didn't want to say, all right, guys, put yourselves at level 15 and just keep that character sheet for a while. Because then it feels a little weird, and it feels like I'm forcing you to build your character in that direction, as opposed to letting the campaign guide where you build your character. But it was a thought that I had, and I was like, that'd be really cool. But I don't think I can do that. I just don't think I can.
Yeah. It would've been cool, though.
Yeah.
Alright, I do
now
have
I'm gonna
to...
be kicking myself about that, but it's... sorry.
No, it would have definitely been hard to implement.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we get off for now, though.
Yeah, no worries. Me too.
Regardless, I know we're gonna play Jackbox tomorrow, but I really want to play more Casey's Crime Scene. I'm really invested in what's going on there.
I'd like to play more of that.
We
That's
could
okay.
do the Jackbox like in the beginning and just kind of like
Yeah, 'cause that's not gonna take long.
yeah, because it's like what 5 games per pack.
Yeah.
5 games. We do
Yeah,
one
five
of
games.
each. Maybe do one or more of the ones that we really enjoy, and then.
Oh, it's Evan's birthday. I gotta wish him happy birthday.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's it past midnight, so I can spam him. Where's Evan?
Oh shit, did the clocks go back? I think they might have done.
They don't go back yet, do they? Unless
No.
the UK does it different.
Yeah, no, we do it differently. I think the clocks went back like 4 hours ago.
Oh, nice. There you go. You get an extra hour.
I do,
Yippee.
yeah.
Yeah, it's only like...
Technically 7 a.m.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, you're good.
Yippee.
Yippee.
Now you can go to bed and wake up at 5 p.m. all rested and ready for the day.
Real quick, do you know when the next Gordon episode comes out?
I think
It's November 6th?
which is really weird. They were doing it...
Week?
November 3rd, sorry.
Yeah, I guess that's how they're just doing the season. They did 4 episodes every Tuesday, and then they, like, did, like, a big gap for some reason.
I think it's
Stone
next.
Ocean.
I think it's next week
Yeah.
Friday.
Next Friday, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Alright.
But it might take longer for it to actually get put up on...
Yeah, that's true.
Shit.
Let me check Hell's Kitchen
No,
doing. Is
November
that...
6th. November 6th.
What's...
So, next Monday. Not next Monday. Next Monday? No,
Wait,
next
are we
Monday.
talking about Hell's Kitchen, or are we talking about
No, Kitchen Nightmares. Kitchen.
Kitchen
Hell's Kitchen. I was going off on a different tangent for Hell's Kitchen.
No worries.
'Cause that's all. That's also coming out right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to be fully finished. Then we're definitely gonna watch that.
Oh.
And we need to catch that high again of that one season. That
Oh, yeah.
one season was
Never gonna
fucking.
happen. You know it's
It was
not gonna
so.
happen.
It was so good. Like obviously the
was.
jokes. Like there was so many good characters and arcs that happened in that.
I miss Cody, man.
I hated Code. You hated Cody.
sayonara.
I did hate
Stream.
Cody.